Hey everyone, Kendra here. Just a quick little editor's note for this episode. We talk a lot about the Zack Snyder cut of the new Justice League movie that came out, so there's going to be some spoilers. So if you don't want to get any spoilers, I will leave the time code up on the screen as to when to skip to so that you can avoid the spoilers. But other than that, enjoy the episode.
Hello, Cinema Peeps.
Hey, Cinema Peeps.
Oh my goodness.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
All right. We got lots to talk about today. At least I'm going to pretend we do.
Let's...
What's my thought process? Captain Falcon and his Winter Soldier buddy.
Oh.
Did you watch that first episode?
I did not.
I saw, you're like, I
know. Get your hopes up, but I didn't.
Okay. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's fine, I guess.
What were your thoughts on it? I'm assuming you saw it.
I did watch it, yes.
Yeah.
This is nothing against the show, but it was definitely an underwhelming first episode.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, I don't know, it's not really, but it, like, coming off of WandaVision, it was... So I'm trying not to, like, let that blur my judgment. But
Right.
also, to be fair, like, I feel like this was just very much an establishing episode, just showing where kind of all the characters are right now. So, not a whole lot of important stuff, I guess. Or, I mean, I'm sure it will be important at some point.
Yeah.
It was also kind of weird because it was 46 minutes long.
Oh,
And
really?
it didn't feel like a long episode. But it was also one of those ones where it's like, it didn't feel too long, but I don't feel like a lot of stuff happens. So it's a weird balance, you know?
Not quite good for like a pilot episode too. That's like, ugh.
There's like a little thing at the end where you're like, okay. But yeah.
Okay.
I think it's hard right now because I want it to be WandaVision and it's not, so I just need to back off. But I mean, there's a lot of good fight scenes and stuff like that. And it definitely felt like a Marvel movie. So
Nice.
They're not cutting any corners, you know. It's gonna be good. So
That's good because when we started watching WandaVision for the first time too, that's how I felt about it, and it was exciting because it was like something new after you know a year of not really getting a whole lot of new content. So I was like, yeah, this feels like a Marvel movie. Like I'm excited for this. So that's good though.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's an underwhelming first episode, but I think it's just there has to be a lot of setup right now, which is fine.
Yeah. You kind of have to go half and half on a pilot episode. You can't judge it too harshly because, like you said, they have to set up the story. So
you gotta see where all the, you know, where are they at right now? You know, what are they up to? Who are they seeing? What's happening? You know, all that fun jazz.
Yeah.
But slightly on the same topic vein, which I haven't finished yet because it was like 4 or 4:30 in the morning when I finished watching the Captain America thing, and then I found the other thing, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, but it was an hour, and I was like, no, I should probably go to bed. It's, what's it called? Avengers Assemble.
Oh, okay.
And the first there's only one episode out right now, and it's all about the making of WandaVision. So,
oh, cool.
I think the idea behind this is that, it's all going to be about, I think, mostly their Disney Plus shows. If I'm to be, you know, it's been known to lie to me. But I did Google because I was curious if there was other episodes. And I think there's 5 in total. So yeah, there's WandaVision. There's one for Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There was one for Loki. One for the Hawkeye series, which I guess I forgot that was going to be a thing. And I was like, okay, whatever. And the other one's for Black Widow. Which I thought was kind of weird at the time, but now I saw today that they announced that it's going to be released in theaters and on Disney Plus Premiere.
Okay.
So that's probably why. But hey, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is the shit I live for. They're like, here's all the little tiny things, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool! You know, so I'm excited. But yeah, I think my guess is they'll release them after the series have been completed, obviously.
Right.
But again, something really fun, and if you want to see how things are made, which is also a show on Discovery.
Nice. Yeah, how it's made.
Yeah. Which was always such a, I don't know. It was one of those shows you're just like channel surfing, and then you're like, ah. And
Right?
like, how do they make the plastic bottles? And you're like,
You're like, I feel like I've been enlightened. I feel smarter.
there's like shit you're like, you never think about, and you're like, oh yeah. How do you make that?
Right? I remember when I watched an episode where they showed how they made mirrors, and it was actually pretty cool.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I think, didn't they have a separate show called How It's Made Food? Maybe? Occasionally they'd have food items. And anytime they had food items, I was like, yep, I'm watching this.
Yeah, you're like, hell yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, well, there's these big tumblers that the candy goes through. And I'm like, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Just to, like, piggyback off of Marvel, I'm going to flip it over to DC. Because I watched the Zack Snyder director's cut of Justice League.
I was gonna say, my friend texted me asking, he said he really liked it, and he was like, are you gonna watch it? And I was like, I have no way of watching it, and so he was gonna offer to stream, and he was gonna ask if you wanted to watch too, but now I can tell him, you already saw it.
Yes, I don't think I'll want to watch it again.
Oh!
Okay, before I get into it, I'll just say, the fans who are big fans of the DC movie, like the cinematic universe, I can see, or I can respect the fact that they enjoy it. I'm not gonna trash the movie because I'm, more the Arrowverse show fan, but
Do it.
just based off of the story and all the other movies that they've done so far, all I can say is, Zack Snyder, I hope you're proud of yourself for what you did. Because I didn't think it was necessary.
Oh, Yankees.
Yeah.
Get rid of the big old Yankees. Oh, shoot. I forgot to send you that film theory. Okay. I'm going to do it right now before I forget. Talking all about the Snyder Cut.
Cool.
But yeah, so you didn't really like it all that much?
No, it was brutal to watch, honestly. And just my honest opinion. Like, he broke it up into 7 parts. So, that was confusing.
Yeah, because it's like 4 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4 hours long. And yeah, he broke it up into 7 parts. And the ending was the best part of the whole movie. I just feel like the reason it was 4 hours long was because everything was like a slow motion shot. Like, it was getting to the point where I felt like I was being dragged. Like, it was just like...
Was it you who tweeted that, or it was a meme? Someone said something, I was talking about all the slow-mo shots in it. It was really funny. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. No, yeah, there was just, there wasn't, from what I saw, like, they cut a lot, he cut a lot of the jokes and the more humorous stuff that was going on in the original cut, so, like,
okay, good, because none of those jokes were good.
Right? Specifically, the one of, where Aquaman's sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. And and he's just kind of like spewing stuff out, and they're like, why? Like, they're just kind of looking at him, and he noticed he's sitting on the lasso. So they cut that part out. They cut the part out where, is it I can't remember, was it the Flash who helps, like, there's a Russian family, like, he's trying to help them out of with their truck, because their truck gets stuck. There's a scene where he races Superman at the end of the movie. They cut that out.
Oh. I was gonna say, those are probably the 2 only scenes I kind of liked.
Yeah. So I mean, again, the only other thing other than, like, the last 30 minutes of the movie was they did a much better job at cleaning up Superman's face than the first time around. So that was good. But,
that was the real intention of the Snyder Cut all this time.
Right? That was the only thing. The only thing. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like he didn't need to have it that long, but I guess, for whatever circumstances that was going on at the time, he wanted to, between directors being switched around, and he was going through some personal stuff, obviously, I'm guessing he just wanted to, cut the movie the way he wanted it to, but it just seemed like a whole lot of unnecessary slow motion action, and there wasn't a lot of dialogue in there as well, so it made it even more painful to watch. You couldn't really be engaged with what was going on, because it was just kind of silent slow-mo action.
The dialogue was bad anyway, so maybe that was a good thing.
But then it was like every time Wonder Woman showed up to do something, they'd have this, like they'd have her theme a couple of times, but there'd be this weird, like, woman singing, like, oh, like, underneath every time, so it was starting to get repetitive after a while, and you're like, okay, like, we could have filled this in with some dialogue or something, right? And I can't remember if it happened in the first movie, or in the first rendition of the movie, but they did more stuff with, like, Barry and Iris, so that was kind of cool. We got to see Iris, like, you know, the cinematic universe version of Iris. I don't know, it's hard to say, like, I of course, I'm coming from a perspective of, like, you know, the Arrowverse Flash, so I've already, you know, kind of attached to those characters, but I just find Ezra Miller's Barry Allen's very awkward. Like, I don't know if that... I'm assuming that's what they're going for, but even so, like, it's...
They're going for something totally different than the one on TV, even though they're so similar. It's ridiculous, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Just, there was a lot of stuff that they should have maybe touched on more and stuff. Like, they could have filled in a lot of that. They could have filled a lot more in with story and less with, like, epic slow-mo action scenes that weren't really that epic. So,
woo! Laying down that gauntlet. My God.
Again, I'm coming from, like, watching all the CW shows, and, you know, it's a very deep contrast. They brought the Joker back at the end, which is cool, so, you know, they gave him a better look, so he looks more, you know, menacing and less, like, you know, a wannabe, and... that whole bit there, because it's like Bruce Wayne has that, like, apocalyptic dream or whatever. So they show kind of, like, what happened, and so they've established more characters in that, and kind of, like, setting up for something I'm assuming that they're going to explain later on in future movies, if there's going to be. So that was kind of cool, and his whole interaction with the Joker was really neat for that. But yeah, like I said, that was the most engaged I was throughout the whole movie. Everything else was just, like, really painful to watch.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know from the, what is it called? The internet. I know for a lot of people, they really liked, like, how Cyborg, I guess, got a more fleshed out story. That was, when people talk about it, at least I'm trying to stay away mostly, but seems to be a big common theme that a lot of people seem to be liking, and I mean, that's awesome. Who knows? I'll watch it. Maybe I will be just as harsh, or I'll just be like, "You're wrong, Counter. You're wrong."
Yeah, I don't know. It was very painful to watch. So that's all I'll say.
Damn. All right, now I gotta watch it. Oh, I did watch Flash. Because I was editing the podcast and I was talking about how I didn't watch that Flash episode, but now I have. And then you were like, you should share your thoughts. And I'm like, I have no thoughts. But I do.
You do now?
Yes. And I mean, I don't know. It was an episode, that's for sure. But it definitely felt like, and again, I think part of it has to do with the pandemic. Also, them firing the actor who plays Ralph. There was just, like, a lot of... I
was so upset with that scene. It made me so sad.
I laughed so hard. I was like, oh, I mean, that's one way to deal with it.
Right? Oh, it was yeah.
I was like, okay. And then he comes back with, like, a fucking death punk helmet, and I was like, all right, let's do it. But yeah, there was just, like, because there was, like, the one scene where... I already forgot. What's her name? Do you remember the thief child? What's her name? That Ralph's into. The thief girl. Who is her name again? Thief child.
What's her
Vivian? Name? No. Thief.
I don't remember. I want to say Claire or something. It starts with a C, maybe?
Clarice? No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm going to call her thief girl. Because, like, she was absent for... Because I guess after... Because I think... What was it? I think when they got cut off, she was being... They were trying to blame her. So her and Ralph were trying to find evidence against that. But then she didn't show up till, like, this last episode. And they're like, yeah, we're still looking for stuff. Oh, look, we found it. It was just, like... There was, like, quite a few plot lines like that where it's like, oh, this happened. Oh, guess what? We just solved it. And you're like...
Yeah.
Oh... Okay.
Yeah.
I know sometimes people complain like, oh, they're dragging the storyline out for so long. But I was just like, okay. Can we, like, calm down? Like, you just asked that question 5 minutes ago. So I think there was a lot of stuff they were trying to, like, wrap up really quickly.
Well, I feel like they were trying to also just kind of... Because I'm assuming they're not going forward with the elongated man anymore. I think this was just meant to be like, this is where he is in case you're questioning why he's not on the show anymore.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah. And I feel kind of bad, because I think I said this before. I thought the other girl was really fun, and they even said, oh, you could join Team Flash. And she's like, nah, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But maybe she will. I don't know. Who knows? The other weird thing was, like, Iris's powers. And, like, she just gets out of the hospital bed and charges the thing. And I'm like, all right, here we go, I guess. There's, like, a lot of weird things like that. The fact that the Wells apparently is a time traveler. I'm just like, okay.
Right? All of a sudden he can, like, travel through time.
I'm like, photosynthesis. Yay! For the win. It was kind of weird. And then, and again, maybe it's just part of the fact that they've had to shut down shooting because of the pandemic, so they've had to rework a lot of stuff. But with Mere Eva, and she's like, my Mere people are going to take over the world. I was like, is that really where this was going this whole time? But then they're like, no, you want to change people. And she's like, yeah, I want to be better.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that what you, like, maybe, and again, maybe I have to, like, rewatch, because, like, they're, again, a weird circumstance where we've had to, like, had such large gaps.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I just didn't think that's where that was going at all.
Yeah.
But again, maybe it's because, like, yeah, they're trying to, like, chop this up and finish it up, and so they can kind of move on, which is fine. I get it. But, there's just, like, a lot of weird things that were like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know why. It still tickled me pink when he was like, love is gonna make me speed. And I was like, okay.
Because she's his lightning rod, remember?
I know. It's cheesy, but then every time he says it, I'm just like...
He's the paragon of love.
Yeah, whatever. Love stinks. So it was a strange mishmash, so I'm excited tonight to see, because this will be kind of a clean slate, so I'm excited where we're going to go now.
So, I'm curious, because, well, the thing I really liked the most was that Killer Frost got a cool new superpower for, like, a split second, which was kind of neat. She took the velocity 6 or velocity 9 or whatever, and she got super speed.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and the two of them were just kind of like fighting each other.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick. But one thing that Xena and I noticed, and I don't know if this is just because I've drilled it into her brain, and like now we're like on the lookout for it all the time, but there was something at season 1. There was a director's commentary that they did for the first episode. And I watched it, and the director was saying that Tom Cavanaugh would remove his glasses every time they talked about the Reverse Flash. And that was his kind of... That was his choice. Like, they didn't tell him to do that. He decided to do it himself. And that was kind of his way of, like, revealing his mask and being like, do they know? Like, have they found me out kind of thing? So, he did this thing... Like, he did that in this episode. I don't know if you noticed that. They, like, really put a lot of emphasis on... him, and he wasn't looking at the Speed Force thing, and that was when everybody was trying to figure out what he was looking at, and they're like, oh, he's looking at the group, oh, maybe he saw his wife back there, and blah blah blah, and so I'm like, that seems like a very Reverse Flash thing to do. Is he the Reverse Flash? Like, so Zen and I were like, ooh, watching that. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
I saw him trying to take off his glasses, but he promptly put them back on.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the Reverse Flash.
We'll
I think he's just a regular old Wells.
Yeah.
Who can time travel. Okay? For reasons.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
What do you think the colored lightning is all about?
Oh, the Power Ranger symbol at the end?
Yeah, the Power Rangers.
I was like, Power Rangers. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to be Power Rangers. Well, I just kind of assumed it was just like because like the Paragons had all their colors.
Right.
So I just kind of assumed that. Okay, that was my other thought, though. As much as I love Arrow, and like I thought the crossover was like, I thought this, or I guess technically last year's crossover was like okay. I feel like it's just fucking up a lot of the shows. They at least are choosing
on Infinite Earths crossover?
Yeah, at least are trying to fall, because at the start of the Flash's season, right, it was all about the mucus blood man who was only there
Ramsey.
for a hot. Right, he was only there for a hot minute till the mirror thing happened. You know, in between Crisis and stuff like that. But it just feels like they're trying to incorporate all those things, and I don't know. I just
it's
don't feel
very
like
confusing.
Right? I don't feel like it's working.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the crossovers were great because, yeah, they brought everyone together, and then as, like, kind of Easter eggs, they'd, like, mention, like, oh, remember that time that happened? Oh, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Mm-hmm. Whereas now they're trying to, like, infuse that into the stories, but I don't feel like it's working.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and again, maybe this, with the whole end of the Power Rangers ending, maybe that's them trying to, like, fix that, but, like, I don't know. Because even, like, I was even thinking about it when I was watching this Flash. I was like, this season's been so bizarre. Mm-hmm. You know, on top of it being COVID. I was like, it's just so weird.
It is, yeah.
And I know, like, everyone was complaining. There's too many speedster villains. But I think, well, what was it? Was it season 4? It was the Thinker?
Yeah, season 4 was the Thinker.
Yeah, that one was really good. And
I love that one.
I don't know, like... Maybe that's why I'm just confused, because this season was just so jumbled. Maybe I need to, like, rewatch it from the beginning and not have, like, a fucking half a year break of COVID, you know?
Right.
And maybe I'll be like, oh, okay, I see what was happening now.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about it, I was like, yeah, this season has been so bizarre.
Well, it was hard to, like, kind of comprehend who the villain was this season.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like you said, there was Ramsey, and he was good. Like, I was invested in who he was, but then all of a sudden he just, like, disappeared, and it was like, what?
See ya! We're like,
and
what?
then, yeah, then the mirror person came into play, and, yeah. Because, yeah, people are speculating, like, it's going to be other speedsters with these different colored lightnings or whatever.
Oh.
And I know that they were saying... at least in an article I read, I don't know how true it was, but it seemed like they were interviewing Candace Patton, who plays Iris on the show, and she was saying that we were gonna see a villain we haven't seen in a while. And so, I don't know, I'm chalking it up to either, like, Reverse Flash, because the last time we saw him, he said, oh, I'll see you in the next crisis, right? So,
yeah,
that could be anything. Or there was also Blue Lightning, and Blue Lightning is Zoom's lightning color, so it could be Zoom. But, yeah.
Yeah, I just want the Power Rangers to show up. That's what I want. I saw the colors and I was like, yeah, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm for it. Let's do it. If there's a time traveling Wells, we can have Power Rangers. It's as easy as that.
I'm just, so curious to see how they're playing catch up now, basically.
Yeah. And,
yeah, like you said, cutting them a lot of slack because of the pandemic and everything. And I just really am curious, because I know we've talked about it on the podcast before, you know, with, like, Superman and Lois and everything like that. I'm just curious to know, like, is this officially it for, you know, the Arrowverse, CW-verse, whatever you want to call it, to be converged as one? Are we now, like, separating it into chunks? Because obviously, like, the other question is, are they going to be able to do a big crossover during, you know, the pandemic? Is that going to be possible this time? Are we going to get one, you know?
Honestly, I'd be okay if they didn't.
Yeah. I'd even be okay if they could do, like, mini ones like they used to.
Oh, yeah.
Before they started doing the big ones, and it was just kind of like Arrow and Flash.
I guess that's what's happening, right? With, oh my god, Dave's character. Diggle. Right? Because he's going to be on all 5 shows, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he posted a picture a while back because he was excited, because I guess he's directing an episode of Superman and Lois. So I was like,
oh,
okay.
Cool.
I was like, okay, cool, I'm ready. I'm pretty sure he said he was directing. Maybe I'm lying. I thought he was, so.
I do recall hearing that he was directing. I didn't know which show he was directing, but I recall him saying he was going to do some directing. And Danielle Panabaker, Killer Frost, or Caitlin Snow, she's directing episode 14 of The Flash again, so doing another one, so yay.
Yes. Who is it? Jess McAllister? I think that's how you say it last night. On Legends, I think she just finished directing an episode of DC Legends.
Nice.
I think Katie Lott's also directed another episode this season, so.
Yes, I do remember seeing her post about that.
Very exciting. What was my other thought, though? Oh, slightly different, but Superman and Lois episode, I actually enjoyed this one.
Yeah?
I weirdly enjoyed this one. Mostly just Lois chewing out her dad. I very much enjoyed. I was like, yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was my dad and I went... when the boys were talking about... Or, like, when her dad talk to the boys, being like, you can't, don't distract your dad, and blah, blah, blah. So then they, like, have that family meeting afterwards, and they're like, you guys, you know you can always come to me. Why wouldn't you think that? And they both look at Grandpa and my dad, and they're like, oh, Grandpa's in trouble.
That was so good. I was like, yikesies.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is a little better. I also liked the scene with Lois, like, getting mad at, Clark.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I understand, but, like, I needed you now. And I was like, ah, man. And I felt that. I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yeah, because, you know, everyone has, like, I mean, everyone's not Superman and saving the world, but everyone, like, has their things where it's like, this is important. And it's like, I understand that's important, but, like, you know.
Yeah.
I need you, too. And I was like, aw, I like that. Although, what I'll say I did not like about that episode is the fucking high expectation of someone take me to a rustic barn all fucking lit up with pretty-ass lights. That ain't gonna fucking happen. How dare you, Superman and Lois? How dare you? Expectations too high. But yeah, I actually kind of liked this episode.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to really like the bond between the brothers. It seems... like, it's not, to me, I don't know, right now it's not very predictable, and it's kind of cool that they did a bit of a spin on, at least I think so, like, a bit of a spin on, you know, who's got powers and stuff like that. So, I think that's kind of cool, because at first they were kind of hinting to make it seem like, is it Jordan who's the football player? Like, he was the football player at first?
Yeah.
Jordan and Jonathan, or...
Yeah.
No, Jonathan. Jonathan was the football player.
No. Yeah. Who knows?
What?
Don't name your kids J names. What the fuck?
Right? But yeah, because at first they were trying to hint that maybe he has powers, and then it switched it around onto Jordan, which was kind of neat. So, and I like that they, you know, they have each other's back and stuff like that, and there seems to be a good bond between the two of them.
Yeah. I'm still, like, confused on, like, the villains and everything, but I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
Don't give two
so
shits.
far, just, Lois Lane's dad just makes me angry, that's all.
I think that's what he's there for.
Yep, exactly.
I think that's all he is there for. To be
He's
like,
there to
God,
fuel the rage.
hate in-laws. Ugh, the worst. Just kidding. I'm sure if someone has really great in-laws, that's great, but not this guy. Not this motherfucker. Well, everyone, that was an episode of the podcast.
Hooray!
I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell us what you think in those lovely comments down below. I mean, we talk a lot of superheroes, and right now we're talking a lot about the TV shows we're watching, but is there anything else you want us to talk about? I mean, we could just talk about our experiences in school and using technology all day long.
I feel like we should make that next week's episode.
School
like some
technology.
good discussions there.
We can talk about anything. Oh, that reminds me. I was going to do a post about it, but I haven't yet. I'm going to pre-order the next fucking video game. The House of Ashes for the Dark Pictures anthology.
Ooh.
It says it's available for pre-order, and right now it says, yeah. The date on it, though, says it's like the end of the year, but it's very typical for pre-orders.
Yeah.
Just to say to the end of the year. But I'm just going to do it. I don't give two fucks. Hopefully it comes out this summer, but I don't give two shits. I'm going to pre-order it because I can.
Hell yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. We could talk about video games all day. I could talk about video games all day.
All
So
night.
want to hear about that? Leave in those comments. Like, subscribe. Get out. Walk a dog. It's International Puppies Day. Woof woof. Happy day. Oh, I shouldn't be allowed to do these anymore, Kendra. But anyways, have a great day. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Monkey.
Monkey.
And...